Welcome in to our live episode here, pregame warm up here, Virginia versus Wake Forest tonight. I'm Jeff, joined by El Jacko and LJ Ballardo. How's everybody doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Yeah, doing well.
Excited for the late night sit.
I was just
Yeah.
thinking I should have put the gosh, the Wake Forest home court on my background with some still shot of the team back there, try to fool some people maybe for a second at least. But,
Oh gosh. Yeah. Nope. Tonight the Who's are playing Wake Forest, and before we really get going, we always like to let everybody
Lawrence
know.
Joel, Jeff. I just thought of it. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, the name of the
The
basketball
most
arena.
important part. Lawrence
I,
Joel Coliseum.
the
You
most
know how old
important.
people's brain works.
Mensers is more important than that old turd arena. And
Yes.
that's who's bringing this episode to you, folks. Your go-to spot for all things UVA at Mensers. You can pick up your classic UVA apparel or perfect gift for the Wahoo fan in your life. Check out their warm hoodies and their twill reverse weave sweatshirts, which are especially soft and long-lasting because of how they're made. Hats like this one I'm wearing, or like Jay's got the baseball hat. They're great too. Any kind of hat you might want, they got it. You want the classic orange jersey like Jay's wearing? Basketball, they got it. We got the Tony Bennett 5 pillar. They got it. New deals every week with the orange tag sales as well. A tradition dating back to 1948. They've been outfitting the Who's with the best selection of officially licensed merchandise for generations. Visit them on the corner in Charlottesville, or the Stonefield Shopping Center, or at Mensers.com. That's Mensers.com, where the Who's shop. Who's versus Wake Forest tonight. Can Virginia pull off the upset? Thoughts, guys. What you got? Who's talking?
Jack, you go first.
I can go. That's fine. I don't think it's crazy out of the equation. I know it's not the first time that I said the Who's have a chance to upset and, it doesn't go well. I don't think it's out of the equation for the Who's to pick up a win tonight. I don't think Wake Forest is as good as their record shows. They are very similar to what we've seen out of Virginia out of the last few years in strong defense, offense, not so much. And if the Who's can get going quickly offensively, if they can hit a couple threes, we can get McNeely going quickly. We saw in the UNC game a big issue with McNeely. It took him a while to get going. He had an air ball, he bricked, he was looking terrible, and then he started hitting them, and that's when, because we started out 21-2. We've got to get going quickly offensively if the Who's want a chance in this one. I think it's not out of the equation. You get going offensively quickly, get by their defense. They have a solid defense, and then for Virginia's defense, I'm very curious to see how Sanchez and the coaching staff is going to approach this game, because I don't know if you guys have been reading because the last few games against Duke, against Virginia Tech, they've been switching. They've had our guards switch down low to cover their bigs, and our bigs going up top to cover. And I think Sanchez acknowledged it the other day. I can't remember if it was Ratcliffe, Augusta Free Press, something, saying, hey, yeah, we've noticed that it really didn't work against Carolina. It has been working as of late. We're going to adjust. We're looking at adjustments. So I'm very curious to see how they're going to play that defensively. But it's going to be interesting. I think it's a very winnable game for the Who's, though. Anybody?
Hey, yeah, we're getting high tech there, leaving the screen and coming back. Yeah, I don't know, Jack. I think this one's going to be tough. I think the worst thing that probably happened to us was Wake Forest getting blown out by or losing to NC State. I think had they won that game, you might catch them, a little bit, flat-footed possibly, but there's no way you're going to catch them flat-footed tonight. We're going to have their full attention. It is an interesting matchup in that offensively they are one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the country. I think they're in the 340s range, somewhere in that. Right? They as a team, I think 29% on the year from three, very low percentage. And they've got some guys that can definitely play. Salas is averaging 18 a game. the way our defense has played this year, I feel like we're like the type of team that can cure what ails them. And then if they lock us down, it could be a long night. They got a big from Richmond. I think he's from Richmond, Efton Reed. I feel like he's given us problems in previous seasons, and it's a winnable game for sure. I think almost all the ACC games outside of Duke could be winnable with the talent that we have, but I'm afraid we might catch them on the wrong night tonight.
I'm gonna just about your comment about. There we go. About your comment about them getting blown out Saturday, because they lost to NC State. That's a bad loss for Wake Forest. And this is a team that was just inside of Lenardi's last four in, trying to fight in that bubble. And so this is huge for them. And we could play spoil. If we beat them, I think they might be done unless they pick up some big ACC tournament wins. But I think that was a better situation for us than it would have been for winning. Because I mean, what are we doing here? Can I call out our producer in the background?
I'm not doing that. I think that's Jay.
I was just trying to get us all up here for a little bit. I have a hard time.
I'm trying to host a podcast here.
Nobody cares.
But listen,
nobody cares. As Johnny D says. They don't care what we think about Virginia basketball.
Listen. I think that this is the type of loss that Wake Forest took Saturday that would spiral them out of control, because that's happened to Virginia multiple times this year. I really hope it's that, because one of two things will happen, Jay. Either what you said, how that was the worst thing that could have happened because now they need a bounce-back game. They play a team like Virginia, they can. Or that loss kind of spirals into a couple losses in a row, kind of like the loss we had to SMU at home when they hit the last-second shot, or, the Memphis loss was really rough at home that we had. I really hope it's going to turn into a down spiral for them. And again, I just don't think their offense, and I'm not saying our offense is anything special, I just don't think their offense is going to be high-powered enough to dig themselves out of the hole they just created from Saturday.
Yeah, and if anybody's got any comments as we are here live before this game, feel free to put them in. Any questions? So, Jay, Jack, what does Virginia have to show for Coach Sanchez to keep his job? I'm just kidding. We've talked about this till we're blue in the face, so I had to just play around with that.
I do have a question for Jack, Jeff.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if the listening audience knows.
Take the show, Jay. Just take the show.
All right, that's enough. Come on.
You were able to get a media credential for the UNC game at UNC, and I'm just really curious because I haven't heard, so I want to hear about that experience.
Where is this going? Okay, I thought you were gonna get ready to do some flaming. No, it was a great experience. That was my first time going down to Chapel Hill, going to the Dean Dome, Dean Smith Center. It was really cool. That place is huge. It's much bigger than JP. It's only, I think the capacity is only 5,000 seats more, but I guess just the shape, because JPJ kind of has the wall where there's not many upper deck seats, and the Dean Dome kind of circles all the way around. It was really cool. The arena was big. Walked around Chapel Hill a little bit. Took the scenic route instead of parking at the arena. Took the scenic route with the free parking. Got to walk by the baseball stadium, the football stadium. Got to see some stuff.
Did you go to the arena?
I did not go to any museum. No.
Oh,
you're talking about
the basketball
what
museum.
It is inside the arena.
It's within walking distance. Because I actually went to the Roy Williams coaches clinic. And
so is it connected to the arena?
I don't think it's connected.
Okay.
I could be. I don't. It's been about.
So what's really interesting about the Dean Dome is it's connected to another building, like another athletic facility, and that's the hallway. You have to take a hallway into that facility to get to where the press conference is, where the media room is, and the locker rooms are the locker rooms aren't inside the Dean Dome. They're in the other building. So I'm wondering if that's because I saw a lot of memorabilia. There's a lot of really cool memorabilia. And yeah, it was a cool experience. North Carolina puts on a great show as far as their game day productions go, the videos they play. And, I kind of got a little not nostalgic, but when North Carolina entered the arena, they get their cheers or whatever, and then about a minute later, they had the camera behind in the tunnel showing old Hubert Davis walking out. He walked out, got a huge standing ovation. I'm like, man, that used to be so good when Tony Bennett got that ovation. Now when they do the same thing with Ron, but Ron doesn't get no ovation when he enters JPJ. So, but no, they do a great job, and it was a lot of fun. I'm trying to think if I'm missing any other details.
Yeah,
but,
talk about after the game when you got to talk with Isaac McNeely.
Oh yeah, no, I did. I talked with. If I had thought about it, I would have put it into the studio here. I can try and do that. No, I can't. But yeah, I talked to McNeely after the game because for those of you who don't know, McNeely scored his 1,000th career point in the second half there with the I think it was a turnaround jumper he had, and so I kind of asked him about that. I asked him, how has he progressed from his freshman year to his junior year now with his offensive ability, scoring his 1,000th point. He said, yeah, just kind of hitting more than just being a catch and shooter, shooting off the dribble more, making other shots. And he has. I mean, you can tell in his play. I mean, his freshman year, he was really impressive the way he was able to catch and shoot. But when you're talking about now, he's more than that. He can create his own shot. I mean, last year alone, I think he struggled a little bit his sophomore year when teams would put a little more pressure on him. They play a little more physical with him. He couldn't make shots. Now he's starting to create his own shots. He's hitting some step backs. He's posting up a little bit, hitting some fadeaways, So he's done a great job with that.
He does get that fadeaway every game, at least one of them. And it's just
at least one.
You got to feel like when you look at the shots, like there's no way, like that's just a bad shot selection. But it's a good one for him because
that's how it is for him and Day Ames too. I tell you what, Day Ames hit a lot of those lately. Those just crazy mid-range shots Day Ames has been hitting. And it's like that's a terrible shot selection, but it switches every time, and it's really impressive.
He's sneaky. Day's sneaky. He's a small guy. He's figured out how to get his shots off his whole life.
He's not at the top of the scouting report either.
Yeah.
No, and Day can shoot the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope he stays.
Yeah. What people really want to know, Jack, a couple things. Number one, did you see Bill Belichick? Was he at the game?
He might have been there. I didn't see him though.
I'd have been looking everywhere for him.
I was. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was definitely looking left to right.
Listen.
What'd you say? Oh.
Go ahead, Jay.
I said, I guess that means you also did not see his girlfriend.
No, because I would have seen her with him.
No, the funny video that's out. That video, you know the one I'm talking about?
Yep.
Where she's walking behind him and the jacket is halfway down her back. Have you seen that, Jay?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know how you missed it. It's everywhere. So they're like, can you see Bill Belichick walking? It's his girlfriend coming up behind him. And you know how like a teenager, when they wearing a jacket and it's just kind of hanging down off their back. I mean, it's like just a regular jacket. It's just hanging down. You just got to look it up. Just look up Bill Belichick.
It's just seeing Bill Belichick with her. That's all. Otherwise, the video would be normal.
Well, no, it just because Bill Belichick is, was he 70, 60?
He's up there.
Yeah, he's up there.
And he's walking with this girl that young, and she's got her jacket hanging down. It's almost like you would see like when Kelly Kapowski, when they were they caught Zach with something, and so she had that leather jacket on and smacking on the gun. It's she would be smacking on the gun with the jacket hanging down on the back. And Belichick doesn't walk normal. He walks like he's aged a little bit, like his bones are hurt. It's just a funny view. Just go to, when you get a chance, Jay, just go to X.
Once we're done with the live stream. And to all of you viewers, you can look at it too after the live stream. Then you can look it up.
Check out just type in Belichick girlfriend jacket, and people are clowning it. And then,
Jack, one of the cool things that I saw when I went, like I said, it's been about 15 years, and they got all kinds of Jordan stuff, obviously.
Oh, yeah. Everywhere.
But they had the actual recruiting letter from Coach K to Jordan.
Oh, really?
And, it's really cool. It's just a lot of cool stuff. I mean,
it's one of the most historic basketball programs in the country.
Exactly. I mean, there's so much cool stuff there. Hopefully you get a chance to go back. And like I said, I was there for the coaches clinic back when I was coaching at Smithfield, and gosh, I can't remember what year. It was probably 2008. I went to Tony Bennett's coaches clinic, drove all the way there. Me and Coach Pullen got there, and they had failed to call us. They had canceled the day of.
Oh God.
So that was a big strike on the 30-minute coaches clinic.
Oh,
But they actually took us in like his office area and showed us around because we had come and nobody was there to, do anything. But
Yeah,
we got a little
Did
backstage tour, I guess you could say.
that's cool.
Did you see Roy Williams when you were there, Jay?
I did see
Jack?
Roy. I actually walked right by Roy Williams. Actually, I didn't say anything to him, but because his seat's kind of right court side in the little corner there, so I walked right by him a couple of times actually. So yeah, that was also a cool thing.
What'd they serve for food, Jack?
Jersey Mike's. It's good too.
Jersey Mike's.
Yeah.
I expect better from Carolina.
I will say this one thing.
I like Jersey Mike's.
I do like Jersey Mike's.
I expect better.
I had a great time in North Carolina. I will say
greedy.
Considering the fact that North Carolina is one of the most historic, one of the best basketball programs in the country, you got to do a better job with your media stuff. I'm sorry. The only complaint I have, can we just put more information in the email? Telling me where to go, where I can find stuff, because I probably got into the arena. The game was at 4:00. I probably got into the arena about 2:30. And luckily I got in okay. I got my credential okay. That was fine. After that, I didn't know where the media section was. I didn't know where the media room is or anything. So I kind of walked around in circles trying to find where to go. Went into this upper deck because the upper deck section, probably the middle. It was the half court line in the upper deck section. I asked an usher, "Hey, do you know where the media seating is?" And he says, well, first of all, he joked around. He said, "Are you with UVA?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Up at the top." And I didn't care. I said, "Okay." He said, No, I'm just kidding." And so he told me, just sit in the front row here, the front row of the upper deck section, right in the middle, like great view. And he's like, so that way there's no obstruction or whatever. I was like, okay. There was no desks, no outlets, no anything for my computer or anything. I'm like, this can't be right. So I was like, I'll be right back. And I go walk around. Eventually, I decide, all right, you know what? Let's go into the tunnel. There ought to be a media room somewhere. There's no way they don't have a media room where the press conference is or whatever. I find that, and I find a seating chart, and I was like, okay, section 212. Eventually, I found everything. I got game notes and everything. It's great. But my goodness, you can't put any information in the email or anything? Come on, North Carolina. Even Virginia does a better job at that. Virginia does a phenomenal job. Virginia does a phenomenal job compared to North Carolina. Eric Bacher, we appreciate you, man. It's great work.
Well, you can appreciate it.
Yeah.
I can appreciate Eric Bacher. He does a great job with his work.
Eric, we'd like to appreciate you.
We would love to appreciate you.
Yeah.
I want to try to get to a baseball game for I know I'm going to go to at least one or two, but I don't know about media stuff because I'll probably take Jayton to at least one or one or two.
I'm definitely going to go up there. I think they play on the day of this football spring game, so I'm going to try and go up there with you on that day.
What about Western Branches? Say Harrison Didewick catch. Yesterday.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I posted that to our Twitter for folks who haven't seen it. Go check it out. Saved game saver. I mean, it was a 2-run job to tie it, potentially. But did you guys see that the over/under win totals came out today in Vegas for college?
Oh, I did see this.
I didn't see it. What was it?
All right, Jeff. All right,
I'm reminiscing of.
I'll take my guess.
Yeah,
I'm going to say 5.5.
Ding, 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 ding.
I was going to say as my hint, I was reminiscent of the Commanders season this past season.
But this is the time. Well, we said this last year. We hit the over last year.
We did hit the over.
I think you gotta. This is the time you go bet. I think you're the ones that come on y'all's show in the morning, right, Jack? Those you got to bet them now before.
For sure, before they get touched, before they get messed around with. I would take the over in a heartbeat. I got to be, and I'm biased, but Virginia is gonna listen. The schedule was so hard last year. Virginia played one of the toughest schedules in the ACC, going to Notre Dame, going to Clemson, going to getting Louisville at home. I mean, it was such a tough schedule. Going to Virginia Tech, getting SMU, such a tough schedule. The schedule is so much easier this year. It's not the easiest schedule in the ACC, but it's so much easier than it. There is no excuse for Virginia not to get a bowl game this year. And if they don't, there's going to be
major.
There's going to be changes. There has to be changes because the transfer class that has been brought into this program And the recruiting has been off the charts. You have all this development happening. We didn't really lose too much. I know it's not too late. There will be a couple people that still leave, but we didn't lose too much in the portal. All we did was we definitely won the transfer portal. And you have such an easier schedule than last year. You've got to believe that we're going to hit the over 5.5. I mean, William and Mary should be a win. Coastal Carolina should be a win. I don't have it off the top of my head. There's multiple wins on that schedule, though. There's another non-conference one I'm missing. No.
Washington State at home.
Washington State will be interesting. They went 8-5 last year. I think that's going to be an interesting game. That's going to be tough.
Cross country.
Yeah. So Stanford. I think we get Stanford on the road, which should be a victory. I think we get Cal on the road too. Both of those should be victories. However, we can't
play both Stanford and Cal on the road.
I think Cal might be at home. But the thing is you saw kind of this last fall with some other ACC teams kind of having to struggle getting across the country like that. And then I don't know. But the point is, I'm kind of talking too much. I'm sorry. The point is UVA should get over 5.5 wins this year.
So real quick before we continue, if you're watching on Twitter or X or whatever it's called, and you have a comment, just type it into the comment box and we will discuss it. It's not going to pop up on our end, so I've got it pulled up. Be happy to discuss anything anybody's got. Who we got tomorrow night?
Hit that subscribe button.
That's right. Jay, who do we got tomorrow night?
Oh, man, we got a show favorite, returning second time on the show, former Harvard, former Virginia, future NFL tight end, Tyler Neville, joining the show tomorrow night. Of course, it'll be released on Friday at noon, I believe. But we'll be talking about last season. We'll be talking about the upcoming NFL draft, how he's getting ready for it. I know he was at the Senior Bowl. Is he going to be at the Combine? Do we know? Have we seen a list?
I don't know. I would expect him to, but I'm not too sure.
I have not.
I don't want to. I've got the question in there to ask him about that, but I don't want to ask him if we know he's not going to be there, or if we know he's going to be there, it kind of changes the question. But
yeah. We'll do some research.
I would like to think he would be there. Have you guys seen? I posted one of them, but there was a guy that posted at least 4 or 5 different Tyler Neville videos, kind of critiquing him for the NFL draft purposes. You guys seen those?
I haven't seen that.
It's the same guy who released. Like I said, I posted one. And one of the things they said he kind of needed to work on was catching the ball going to the ground. Like he has a tendency to like almost land on the ball instead of. He had one video where he did it really well, kind of caught it and turned so that he didn't do that. And then actually, I think it was one of the touchdowns against Wake Forest where he landed hard.
That's another one, by the way. Wake Forest comes into Charlottesville this year. That's a very winnable game, I think. Off topic, sorry.
No, one of the things I'm most interested, aside from all the stuff directly with Tyler, is talking about that last week of the season and if he's willing to speak on anything going, with Musket and Calandria and any of that stuff. I don't know if he will, but yeah, I mean, we got to ask the questions. It's kind of our job as the voice of the fans. Ask the questions the fans want to hear.
Tyler kind of knows how our show works.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So yep, that's a good one for tomorrow night. And then next week, I know we've already talked about our guy Norman Nolan will be joining the show. I'm excited to talk to him. So
have we got a date yet for the other former basketball player that we're having?
Not yet. He told me today. So today would be today that he would let me know. So I'm gonna have to reach out. I'll reach out to him tomorrow with a text. We got some potential sitting out there with one former who played for Pete Gillen.
Yep.
And then another potential banked off of that one would be a former football who. And then banked off of that, a former who played for Tony Bennett, who would be a good one. I think people would be really excited for, but we can't give names because this could fall right on. Fall apart.
Yeah.
But
it's one of the more fun parts of the show is getting these guests lined up. Just it feels like all of a sudden, it feels like we don't have anybody lined up, and then we'll get something, and we'll get like 3 or 4 people And we need to message TW back. He messaged us today about.
Oh, I didn't see that one. Yeah,
stuff.
I got the text Monday night, replying to a text from God knows a month ago. I'm so sorry. I forgot to reply to this one. You know, I got another one sitting out there, Sean. If you're listening,
Oh, that would be.
you know,
Jack would be like, I'll pass. I don't know who that is.
I think I know who he's talking about.
I'm
not gonna name
Singletary, Sean Singletary.
Yeah, I figured. Uh-huh.
He's I mean, you know, these guys, their phones are blowing up. They don't care. You know, it's a lot.
Their phones are blowing up in the Jeff Jones group chats.
Not Sean Singletary.
Not Sean.
Sean Singletary played for Pete Gillen, but
I thought you were talking about Sean Moore because I know we contacted him too.
Oh yeah, I did contact Sean Moore, Ralph Sampson, but those were not text messages. So
right.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, shout out to Syracuse NC State for ending on time, by the way. So we're gonna get an on-time start time. It's gonna show on TV.
I've got to try to pull it up on the smart TV.
And for those of you listening out there,
we got final score predictions, boys.
Oh yeah, let's go with that.
Go ahead, Jack. What's Virginia going to win by tonight?
Hey, listen. If Wake didn't have their game against NC State like they did last Saturday, I really was going to predict Wake Forest to win this basketball game. But with that being said, they had a bad loss to NC State. I think it's going to start spiraling out of control. A low-scoring game tonight. Give me the Who's 64-59.
Ooh. Yeah. Jay, you want to go?
Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
Well, Jack, I'm sorry to break your heart again. I'm going to go and break my own heart. I'm going to have to go Wake Forest. I'm going to say 68-61 Wake Forest. And that means we cover the spread. We take that L. I think it's 7.5.
8.5?
It was 8.5. It's sitting at 7.5 right now.
No, that means a little bit of money came in on Virginia.
The Sharps think Virginia's got something.
Yeah, contrary to that AI video that we put out that was just atrocious for those that saw it.
Oh, I think I saw that. Yeah.
Oh, me. Yeah, unfortunately, I got to do what I typically do, and that's pick against the Who's tonight. Give me Wake Forest in a get right bounce back, 71-62.
Ooh. So that you got Wake covering, I got Virginia covering. Jack's just got Virginia. Just if you believe in Jack and you trust in Jack, go
money
put
line. Come on, $50.
Money line.
What's the plus money on that? Like +4?
No,
+5?
I don't have a clue, but it's probably less than that. We're at 8.5 underdogs, it's probably plus what, 250 or something?
200 something.
Oh, I would have thought it'd been more than that, but maybe not.
Because you just hit plus money when it's like a 1 point, and then you're like plus 100, and then
but 8.5. Well, if it's 7.5, I mean, but still 7.5. That's pretty substantial. Probably not +4. Probably somewhere in the middle there, plus 250. Like I said,
I'll tell you what
+3.
it is here in just a second. I'm looking it up.
But yeah, honestly, just to pass the time, this is a much bigger game for Wake Forest than it is for Virginia. I'll tell you what, if Wake loses this, they're done.
That's not what Ron said.
Listen, this is my personal opinion because Wake, they got to win some ACC tournament games back. Now, with that being said, it's a big game for Ron, yes, for him to try and keep his job. And I mean, but Wake needs to win this game. And if Virginia wins, Virginia loses, whatever, Virginia's still terrible. Obviously, I really want to see them win tonight. It'd be a great win for him. It'd be a great win for Ron and the coaching staff. So we'll see.
It's plus 320. So your 50 would win you 150.
Come on, put the 50 down, somebody.
No, give me the 50, I'll put it down for you.
No, none of us can. State of Virginia. I would like to, though.
Oh, that's true. But you're silly.
I wouldn't put down 50.
Are we gonna watch to the first time out? Or are we gonna?
I mean, I'm willing to watch, but
we're not. It's not till 9:05 tip.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we can just call it if you want. We'll
So,
set up.
It's gonna be tough because Jay's gonna be ahead of us, and he's gonna be knowing everything. He's gonna be saying stuff, and me and my dad are just gonna be slow.
So, all right. Well, that'll be it for tonight for us. Hopefully, the Who's can find a way to pull one out. We thank everyone for joining us. And like we said, tomorrow we're talking to Virginia tight end Tyler Neville, and we will air that one on Friday at noon. Other than that, go Who's.
Go Who's, beat
Go
the Demon
Who's.
Deacons.